Hi and welcome. In this video I bring you the news. However, I couldn't remember what the big news was, so you better watch the video until the end.
Maryborough traffic, trike 6340, taxis runway 30 via Charlie, Maryborough. Maryborough traffic, trike 6340, interspec, tracks runway 30, Maryborough. Turbulence. Pretty hazy today. Anyway, hi, it's CrayonBox for another news. It's actually the 1st of September. Haven't done a news for a while, but I've got a few things I want to talk about. One is we've just had landing fees imposed upon us, but yet to see how that pans out in our area, for our aircraft, everything like that. Won't go on about that. What else we got to talk about? Yes, one thing is, episode 3, I've been a bit slow with the long road south. Been so busy. I try to fly once a week. This is it today. And I wasn't sure if I was going anyway because of this turbulence. But it's not too bad. I can manage this, I think. The only thing that's going to hurt is the landing, eh? Yeah, but we'll have to deal with that when we get to it. There was a few other things I wanted to say. I'll get back to it in a moment. So for those of you that might be interested, I'm currently tracking northwest. We've got a 15 knot headwind. 2,000 feet at the moment, and my ground speed is currently 66 knots and airspeed is 73, 74, floating around a bit. What else have I been doing? Well, I've just, hopefully I've finished making my special camera mount bracket, which I'll reveal later on. I'm testing it now, even in the turbulence. I can see the picture on my phone, so I can tell if it's lined up how I want it to be. So I'll put a little bit of that video in this, or now if you like, you can watch it right now while I'm talking. I'll show you a little bit now. Where are we going? Well, I'm heading for Childers, but this conversation, I did have something to say. The trike's now done 36 hours on the Hobbs meter. So building the hours, it's been going very well, everything's running nicely as it should. There we go, now we can monitor. I'm not sure if I do that, if I'm going to be recording. Right. I was just going to monitor another channel, but then I realised that while it's doing that, I don't think it records my audio that I'm using now, so I'll just switch over to the other channel in a moment. Okay, so this is probably going to get worse today. I don't know how long I'm going to go. Sometimes this turbulence thing, as much as it's not a concern now, you sort of wonder if it's going to become more of a concern. And you don't want it to do that. So if you start approaching your flying limits in turbulence, and you've still got a half an hour to an hour to go to get back home, are things going to worsen before you get there and be out of your capability? That's sometimes the thing I think about, and at the moment, I think my plan right now is just to head over to the local Lentils Dam, do a circuit and track back to Maryborough, because I don't think anyone's going to be up at Childers anyway to catch up with and have a coffee. So I do plan to fly tomorrow, which will be 2 flights this week. The reason being, the weather's supposed to calm right down. It's supposed to be calming down today, but it's still quite turbulent. I understand the weather, the wind, from what I have been told, you know, if it was blowing up last night, even though it might be backing off now, it takes a while because the wind, the air, has inertia. It takes a while for it to slow down and settle down. So even though it may not be what you'd say would be windy, the air is still moving in a sense because of its inertia from last night and the day before. Things are still swirling around. Now, a combination of the turbulence right now is due to... Oh, we're descending. Due to warm ground. It's 11 o'clock. It's outside air temperature is currently at this altitude 20 degrees. On the ground it's probably 27. So we've got thermal turbulence mixed in with the moving air westerly turbulence. And that's another thing. I know you don't like hearing about weather all the time. Well, maybe you do. Another thing about turbulence here is we're on the eastern seaboard of Australia, and our prevailing winds are typically westerlies. Well, the weather pattern moves as it does in the southern hemisphere, from the west to the east. Now, in so doing, as it crosses the Australian continent, it comes across our deserts and it gets all churned up, messed up, heated up, cooled down, shoved around, all that. And by the time it gets here as a westerly wind, when there are westerlies, like now, it's quite roughed up. And that was actually something too that my instructor told me while I was learning to fly, that westerly winds will always be rough, and that's the reason. And that's what we're experiencing today. So part of today is to just get a little bit more comfortable in this trike with a little bit of turbulence. Now, why do I do this to myself? I know a couple of pilots that just only want to fly in smooth air. Now, I understand that. That's beautiful flying. It's smooth, it's glassy, it's just lovely. Now, I've taken it upon myself to learn to fly in rougher air because sometimes I have to. Oh, I guess I don't have to. But sometimes you get caught in a situation where you have to land and that airport turns out to be a little bit thermal, rough and bumpy. And the result will be that you have to land in those conditions. So I'm basically just training myself, if you like, and building up my own personal thresholds to be able to do this. Now the truth, who doesn't know this expression? Okay. The truth in the pudding, that's the one, will be when I go back to land. Let's see how that goes. Now, as you can see, I'm currently flying, so I'm saying that right now. Before the landing, I don't know what to anticipate. I know it's going to be a little bit beyond the beginning level, let's say. So we'll get some good practice out of that one. Now, I'm nearly at Lentils Dam. I'll just turn the camera around for you to have a look. And for the life of me, I don't know what else I had for news. All I know is that still flying. Episode 3 of The Long Way South is coming out shortly, and hopefully you can see, actually, if you have a look, you can see the new camera bracket on the dash here holding the camera out to the side. Hopefully that's working well for me right now. As I said, I can monitor it on the phone, and it looks like it's going quite well. Obviously we're getting bumped around a little bit. Here's the dam in front of us. I'm just going to do a reducing altitude. Pull the power off a little bit. Pull the wing up a bit. See how we go. Now the turbulence might increase as we go lower. I can see a lot of wind swirly stuff on the water, which is telling me what direction the wind's coming from, hopefully not all directions. It's pretty much a headwind at the moment. We're doing 50 knots here, and it's ground speed, 50 knots, and our airspeed is 66. So 16 knots. Oh, and it's bumping around a bit, so we're probably gusting a bit, which should explain the turbulence. Or would the turbulence explain the gusting and the airspeed changes? Either way. You take it how you want to. Quite smooth right now on this descent. Dropping in at 350 feet per minute. Currently at 1,700 feet. Just doing a gentle pass over the dam. And my airspeed now is 70 knots. Airspeed. Ground speed 53. Ground speed 50 and 70, so 20 knots now. Now it's bumped back up to 16 knots. Okay. Of course, the things to watch out for in these situations, probably not so much today, it's not too thermal at the moment, are what we call willy-willies or dust devils, and they are the ones that look like daytime clear air tornadoes, which pick up a lot of dust, swirl around and rubbish and all that. And you might have seen people's umbrellas and tents and things going up in the air too. They're the things that can bring you unstuck, especially on final or in circuit at the airport, trying to land at low level. Suddenly you don't want to be going through one of those because you won't be flying for long. Yes, I can see streamlines, I can see people camping below me around the dam in a very quiet little isolated pocket. So, you know, like, it's quite smooth if you look at this. I'll show you the footage off the other camera right now. We're not bumping around too much. You might be asking, why did I mount the camera on the pod? I did try it on the wing, but we're just trying another system where we're trying to see if the wing moves around more than the pod, which I believe it might. And that was a suggestion a pilot friend of mine made recently, and he said, why have you got it on the wing? And I went, well, because the wing's normally stable, but then I thought about it and thought, actually, I think the pod actually absorbs some of the movement from the wing when the wing gets moved around and jostled by the turbulence. So we'll see how this is a good test for it actually, with this turbulence, to see if this footage, this video on that camera looks quite good. Anyway, we're having no trouble here. I'm at 1,500. Gently turning around, trying to get some nice video. See the wind on the water. As I said, I don't think I'm going to fly for too long. I've got a flight tomorrow. Weather conditions permitting. This was a good visit to the dam actually, because it's a good reference for when I last came here about 3-4 weeks ago. We're going through a fairly heavy drought situation at the moment. Most of the eastern side of Australia is. And it'd be good to see if the dam levels have changed much. We recently got around about, I don't know, 10-15 mils in the area from one that was last weekend, and that was from one brief weather event. Whether it's had a decent impact on the dam or not, I don't know. I think it has actually, I'm not sure. I think it looks a little bit higher, but then, you know, this is a catchment area. So it will have gone up a little bit. So, and now I guess we're just waiting for the next rain spell when hopefully things again will put more water in the dam and make everything look greener. Everything looks a little bit greener at the moment because of that rain. We're not looking as much of a dust bowl as we were. The grass is starting to green, but I think it's a false sense of security because I think, well, obviously if we don't get any more follow-up rain soon, that new grass is just going to wilt and die back to square one. And probably create, now you can see the smoke, maybe create some more fuel for the fire as we start to enter our fire season. Oh, we're really in it now actually. You probably saw the smoke before. Okay, I'm still at 1,600. Airspeed is now 60 knots. Ground speed is 70 knots. I'm at 1,600 feet and we're moving back to Maryborough. Put it on the other channel and see if anyone's around. I can't hear anyone yet. I hope the audio's clear too. I've been trying to work on that. There's something funny going on with the wind noise versus the intercom noise versus the passenger helmet might be introducing the noise as opposed to my helmet. So today we're operating without a passenger, no helmet there, and therefore I would expect, hopefully, a better audio quality. I can hear... Alright, that's Gympie, and it's about probably 120 kilometres as the crow flies. It's take me 3/4 of an hour to get there from here. So that's not in our area, but someone's flying down there. So we're doing 80 knots ground speed, 60 knots air speed. There's a big jump of turbulence. So that means we've got 20 knots on the tail, but it is fluctuating a little bit, so that's makes it interesting, doesn't it? Put some comments below, if you're happy to fly in these kind of turbulent conditions. Now, as I said, we've got 15 to 20 knots here. It's rough, it's warm. But at the moment, I'm quite happy, quite comfortable. It's not bothering me too much. I just have to keep my wits about me, as I said, when I land. And we're back. So, hope you enjoyed that scenery as we bump around and jostle. I'm going to make my... I'm going to switch the channels back. We've just done that. I'm going to put it back to what we call AWIS, as you might have heard. Okay, we're going to listen to that and see what the conditions are right now. So to activate that, 3-second push on here.
Below 1,000 feet, visibility 10 kilometers, viewpoint 3, humidity 33%, rainfall last 10 minutes, nil.
Here's the big one, the wind.
Over. Maryborough, Airborne weather, wind 280 degrees magnetic, 12 knots.
12.
Wind 1013 hectopascals.
Right. So that time the reading was 12 knots. We'll see what it is on the next round, because it will change if it's gusting.
Viewpoint 3, humidity 33%, rainfall last 10 minutes, nil.
Okay, you ready for it? Next update. Okay, drop 1 knot and change 10 degrees more to the west. That's northwesterlies, people. Here we go. Same. Same. Now either that didn't update since the last one, or that's about where it is. Knots. Alright, so that's 11 to 15 knots, fluctuating. So, why did I listen to it several times? Obviously I knew it was gusting and I wanted to hear what the change was each time. Listening to it once would just make you think, well, you might assume then that that was the wind direction and the intensity. But listening to it a couple of times like that gave me the full story. It told me that it is changing around, it's moving around by 11 to 15 knots. And that was within a minute. And we have westerly, so 280290, I have a runway 230. So we'll be using 30 obviously. And you look to the right now, I'll just put this on video. This is a local jail, our local prison. Bumping around again. anyway, back to the news, which there isn't really any. I hope you enjoyed that news. There'll be more updates when I can think of some. And oh, okay, here's some news. Here's some big news. You've got to listen to the end, don't you? You've always got to listen to the end of the videos. I have been invited to go to Cessnock with a couple of other pilots, meeting in Brisbane and flying south 6 hours over 2 days. So pretty easy, really, if the weather's not too bad. And we'll be going to Airventure in Australia, which is our air show, obviously, and that'll be like a 3 or 4 day trip. So that's on the leaving 20th till the 23rd, back on the 23rd September, 3 weeks away. So hopefully I can tell you the story about that, and you'll be able to see that soon. I might see you there. I'll be there, hopefully. I will keep you informed, keep you posted if I can't make it. So with that being a time-critical piece of news, this piece of video will go to air before episode 3 of the Long Road South, because you'll want to know, won't you? Anyway, we have an airport before me. I'm going to make a radio call. 1 second. Maryborough traffic, trike 6340 is 3 miles to the west at 1,500 inbound to join downwind for runway 30, Maryborough traffic. Alright, so here's the airport. There. Hope you can see it. I'll zoom it up on the camera. And Maryborough is to the right of the airport at the stage. See how hazy the smoke is? Like, it makes it. It's just not pretty today. Anyway. Now, when I come over the top, there's a windsock from our point of view at the moment. There's a windsock to the left of the runway about halfway down. That's the grass runway we're using. I'll be watching that with great interest, let's just say, and we will be watching that to make sure that I can land this thing safely, because we obviously want to do that. Time is now 11:25. I think we've had a fairly good flight considering. I'm quite impressed. Now, I'll let you just, I'll put the runway, the landing in and everything, and I'll catch you later. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed the video, to subscribe, and don't forget to watch the Long Road South. There's a big hard turn. And episode 3 coming soon. Now, episode 3 and 4 are going to be there's a little bit of aviation activity, but episode 5, that's the one you've got to start watching from, especially that one, those ones. Just a minute. Maryborough traffic, trike 6340 is joining downwind runway 30, full stop, Maryborough. Yeah, you got to watch that. I probably just got charged for a landing fee now as a result of that call, but anyway, that's the brakes, isn't it? $7.40 times 50 times a year is what it's probably going to cost. The windsock is indicating not much. I would not believe it, to be honest. Oh yeah, now it's picked up. See, that's what we're going to be dealing with. So, alright, let's deal with this. Let me focus on my job at hand. Rough as guts. That was the biggest one today. Now the wind on the water is from the south. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Maryborough traffic, trike 6340 turns base, runway 30, full stop, Maryborough. The wind on the cane is from the south. Oh, I'm probably making a bad decision here. Okay, yeah, we're going to do it. Alright, power on. I think we're going to have a look at it, okay? Taking it around. I mean, why does it say 280 when we're landing on 3? What? We're landing on 30 and it's nothing like it. It's totally crossed up. Right, hang on, people. Okay, wing configured. Airspeed, keep airspeed up, people. Charlie. Airspeed. Always airspeed at gusting conditions so that you don't stall unexpectedly when the gust stops. Right, here we go. Hope this is educational for you. Right, hold it stable. Hold off, power off. Up, hold it up. Okay, wing full. Okay, we got it. Now we got a full on. Look at the windsock. Can you see the windsock? Kind of saying south. It's kind of like. It's swinging around a fair bit. Let's just say that. I think I'm not too bad. Like, to be able to manage that, that's pretty good. Maryborough traffic, trike 6340 crosses runways. What is it? 1735 for taxiway Charlie. Maryborough traffic. And we're home. Goodbye. Bye.
Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, or you are new to the channel, like the video and hit the subscribe button to stay connected for future CrayonBox flying adventures.